day everyone, Ken Salville here today, having a look at some deer resistant or not deer resistant plants. We can see here in the background we've got some pyramidal cedars. They are definitely deer food, that's for sure. And then we have some yew trees. This is a yew tree. All the yews are absolutely deer food. The deer just love to eat them. We don't have a lot of deer here, so we don't have to worry too much about it. But the one thing that is more deer resistant are the junipers. And so there's a bit of a interesting story behind the junipers. This particular one here, this is a Spartan juniper. I just want to show you how nice these are. These are just a absolutely beautiful tree. These ones are about 16-18 feet tall now. They've been in for quite a while. But the junipers are an interesting batch because they are always considered to be deer resistant. But that being said, there's definitely some missing information. So one of the key things with junipers is that they are typically deer resistant or less appetizing to the deer. But that being said, it depends on the variety of the species. So the key is that there's three main varieties that you'll grow, or four main varieties that we find here in British Columbia that are, some of them are actually native varieties. And the native varieties are considered to be deer browse, so the deer actually naturally eat them. So this is sort of an important thing when it comes to selecting, your junipers, is to make sure that you're selecting the varieties that are not naturally deer browse. So the varieties that we know of here that are common, of course, there's the common juniper, which is Juniperus communis. And mainly we're talking about upright junipers right now. We're not talking about the creeping junipers. We're talking about upright varieties. So the communis is one of them, and that's a native one to British Columbia. There's also Juniperus scopulorum, which is another native one to British Columbia. So again, those could be considered deer browse in some areas. I know the communis is quite deer resistant. Scopulorum is eaten by the deer. So the other two that we know of that are common in the nursery trade are the Juniperus virginiana, and virginiana are some of the varieties from eastern North America. So as in Virginia, when you hear the word virginiana, that means it's eastern North America. And in these parts, a lot of the deer do not recognize those as deer browse. But the one thing that we do note is that they're still not 100% deer resistant. I don't know if any junipers really are, but they are going to be probably in that 95% deer resistance. The virginianas, the scopulorums are not even on the list because they are deer browse. But this particular one that we're looking at right now is Juniperus chinensis, and it's got the best deer resistance of any of the juniper family. So again, what I see is that I see these as being the chinensis, meaning from China or from Asia. And these particular varieties are the best for deer resistance. So they're still about 98% deer resistant. They're not 100%, but they're pretty good, And so out of all the varieties, if I need to plant something, this is one of the ones that I would plant. Anyway, so that's really the part. Are junipers deer resistant? Yes, of course they're deer resistant, but how much is the question. So again, out of the varieties that we have, you have to know what the species name is. So when you're selecting your juniper, just read the label, and it should say Juniperus chinensis Spartan or Juniperus communis such and such, or it might say Juniperus virginiana or Juniperus scopulorum. So scopulorums, again, not the best ones for deer resistance. So there you go. It's an interesting world out there, and we do hear a lot about deer resistance, and here in the sunny Okanagan we definitely find that there are a lot of of myths out there as far as plants go, and which are deer resistant, which are not. Again, yew trees are deer food. Juniper scopularum, any of those groups, Wichita junipers, those types of things, all deer food. And all the junipers, of course, are the cedars, sorry, the Thuya group, all the cedars are deer food. And also, you know, in the background here, I'll show you these varieties. We have grown the big cedars. We have western red cedars. So the bottom, whatever the deer can reach, they will eat. So that's a western red cedar. And then in the background, up and behind, there's a Leland cypress. So it's Cypressus leylandii, and that is more deer resistant. It's about 96% deer resistant, but there's still areas where they'll eat the bottom parts. But the Leland cypress being one of the fastest growing conifers, they tend to outgrow the deer damage. But they do get to be big and fat and pretty big. That's a thing. Usually too big for most gardens. But anyway, that's it for today. I really appreciate everybody tuning in today and just learning a little bit more about deer resistant plants. I do have a fairly extensive list of deer resistant plant material. There are a lot of plants that the deer won't eat. But junipers, it's a little bit up in the air on some varieties. So know your juniper. Thanks for tuning in today. Have a great week. Bye for now.